In the days when the earth was still soft and the spider could speak to the fly without malice, there lay a village called Omoni, nestled between two great jagged mountains. The people of Omoni were proud. They valued strength above all things. Men had to be broad-shouldered to till the yam heaps, and women had to be sturdy to carry the water pots from the river. Then, little Zola was born. Zola came into the world small, twisted like a root seeking water. One of her legs was shorter than the other, and she did not cry. She only stared at the midwife with eyes the color of the pale moon. The village elder, a man named Kalu, whose heart was as hard as the stones of the mountain, looked at the baby and spat on the ground. "A curse," Kalu declared, his voice booming like thunder. "This child is broken. If we keep her, the spirits will think we enjoy weakness. Our crops will wither, our cattle will die. She must be returned to the forest." Zola's mother wept until her throat was dry, and her father begged, but the fear of the elders was a heavy blanket. That very night, under the cover of a starless sky, Zola was taken to the edge of the forbidden bush, the place where the wild leopards roamed and the spirits whispered mad things, and she was left there. "The village is cleansed," Elder Kalu said the next morning, and for many years the people of Omoni forgot the child they had thrown away. But the forest does not judge the way men do. When the great hyena found the infant, she did not see a broken leg. She saw a creature that smelled of innocence. When the ancient baobab tree saw the child shivering, it did not see a curse. It dropped its leaves to cover her. Zola survived. She grew up not with the language of men, but with the language of the wild. She learned that the wind spoke of the coming rain days before the clouds gathered. She learned that the termites knew where the hidden water lay deep underground. Because she could not run fast on her twisted leg, she learned to sit still, so still that the birds would land on her shoulders and tell her secrets. She became the keeper of the wild, though she did not know a human name for herself. She was simply she who listens. 20 years passed, and the wheel of fortune turned against the village of Omoni. It started with the sky turning white and refusing to weep rain. For 3 years the sun was a tyrant. The river, once a mighty snake of blue, became a cracked bed of dust. The yams rotted in the heat. The strong men grew thin, their broad shoulders bony. The sturdy women could no longer carry water pots because there was no water to carry. Then, Elder Kalu, now very old and blind, prayed to the ancestors. "Why have you forsaken us? We are strong. We cast out the weak." But the ancestors remained silent. The village was dying. One day, a young hunter named Jide, desperate and delirious from thirst, broke the ancient law. He entered the forbidden bush. He thought, it is better to be eaten by a leopard than to die first. He walked for hours until he saw something impossible. Green. In the center of the dry, dead forest was a circle of life. Lush ferns, blooming hibiscus, and trees heavy with fruits, and in the center of the grove sat a woman with a twisted leg, pouring water from a hollow gourd for a wounded gazelle. He fell to his knees, his cracked lips bleeding. "Hisbidit, have mercy," he rasped. Zola looked at him with her moon-pale eyes. She recognized the markings on his face, the same as the ones she had seen in her own reflection in the pool. She recognized the smell of the village that wafted off him, the smell of smoke and fear. She limped over to him.
Drink?
She did not strike him. She lifted the gourd to his lips. "Drink," she said, her voice raspy like dry leaves, for she rarely used human words.
Drink?
Jide drank. It was the sweetest water he had ever tasted.
Look at this.
"Where does this come from?" he asked. Zola pointed to a specific patch of prickly thorns. The earth speaks here. You must dig not where the ground is soft, but where the thorns protect the heart of the soil. That is where the deep water sleeps. Jide ran back to Omoni, filled with the strength he hadn't felt in years. He told the elders. He told Kalu. "A witch!" Kalu wheezed. "It is a trap." "It is water," Jide shouted, defying the elder for the first time. "And she is not a witch. She is one of us. She has the twisted leg of the story you told us to scare us as children." A silence fell over the starving village. The truth settled on them like heavy dust. The one they had cast out was the only one who had found the water. Desperation broke their pride. The entire village, led by the weeping mother who recognized the description of the moon eyes, marched into the forbidden bush. When they arrived, Zola stood by the baobab tree. Her mother ran forward, but stopped, ashamed. Elder Kalu was carried to the front. He could not see her, but he could feel the power radiating from her, the power of life in a place of death. "We threw you away," Kalu whispered, his voice trembling. "We thought you were broken. We thought you were useless." Zola looked at the starving people. She looked at the strong men who were now weak and the sturdy women who were now frail. She realized that by casting her out, they had stayed in their comfort, never learning the secrets of the earth. By being thrown away, she had been forced to learn how to survive when the world went dry. She did not hate them. The forest had taught her that hate was like a fire that burns its own wood. "You threw away my weakness," Zola said softly. "So the earth gave me wisdom instead." She picked up a digging stick. She hobbled to the patch of thorns. She struck the dry ground. "Dig here," she commanded. The men dug. They dug past the dust, past the clay, until cool, clear water bubbled up from the deep aquifer. Water that had been there all along, waiting for someone who knew how to listen rather than just conquer. The village of Omoni was saved. Zola returned with them, but she did not live in a house. She lived in a hut on the edge of the forest. She became the new elder, though she was young. And from that day on, in the village of Omoni, when a child was born small, or twisted, or different, they did not say, "This is a curse." They held the child up to the sun and said, "Look, here is a puzzle. Here is a secret. Let us love them well, for we do not know what they will become."